Two will enter. One will win. Welcome to the fight. Welcome to the knockout.
Welcome everyone to episode 8 of the Knockout. This is a special Sunday episode, so hopefully I get at least some people willing to chat, willing to talk to us, but you never know. You find time when you have to for these kind of shows. So today we got an interesting episode. We got Venom versus Galactus, a really cosmic battle. You know, both guys are from the stars, and you never know who's going to win. The very fact that we had Mr. Freeze triumph over Dormammu shows that it's not a matter of necessarily who has a better argument, but who can get the more votes in. So you never know where this thing will end up. So Venom can win just as easy as Galactus. It just depends on how you get your voting out there. So please welcome the two guys in the chat here. We got Penguin and his guest arguing for Venom. So welcome, Penguin. How's it going?
It is going very well.
Yeah, please introduce your guest for the show.
This is my podcast mate, Zachary.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, welcome. I appreciate you guys both being on here. So like I said, this is the season where all villains, so there's no rules. And so I welcomed on a co-host. There's only one other couple or one other people.
We could be a couple.
There's only one other group in a sense that that ever argued as a team, you know, like with two YouTubers and her daughter Rena, in all sense. It's like, well, they basically just like, we're both on the show. It's like going, okay.
You didn't really have much of a choice there.
Yeah, I didn't really have much of a choice. So I didn't really say, it's like, well, and it's the only real tag team I've really had on, except for the one time where we did a team, I think. Anyway, I'm losing my train of thought here. I just got off work myself, so. All right, and please welcome for the Galactic side of the argument, Titan Comics Pressing, subbing in for the other guy who originally was supposed to be in here. So I appreciate him doing it. So welcome, Titan. How's it going?
Good. Glad I could pinch hit in here for for whoever was foolish enough to give up the role of somehow fighting, saying that Galactus could defeat Venom. I'm not sure how I'm going to possibly do this.
Yeah, well, it was like Brotherhood.
No, we don't either.
Something. So, but anyway, I forget. In fact, that's one thing I don't think I got ready here. I usually have something set up, whereas both guys set up. If I find it, I'll do it. But oh well, like I said, I wasn't totally prepped. Anyway, but welcome both guys. So I appreciate this. Is gonna be a lot of fun. So like I said, you never know. I mean, I was already thinking when the whole match set up, and I said, "Here, Penguin, here's your."
There you are.
I said, "Here, Penguin, here's your guests going on. I'm going up against who?"
Yeah, my reaction was loud.
Yeah, so it's like, and that's the wheel. Sometimes the wheel sets up a truly fun matchup, like the Punisher versus Batman, and other times it sets up, you know, Dormammu versus Mr. Freeze, and you're like, how the hell did I get screwed? But I'm already going like, well, if I was arguing Venom, this is my argument here, and that's my argument here. I'd throw this argument into that match here. And I was already planning Venom. Of course, I'm the big Spider-Man guy, so I had to have Spider-Man at some level in every season. And
I can see it all behind you.
Yeah, all behind me. And so one of my things here I think was Venom, Green Goblin, and all that. So unfortunately, my man Norman will not be going forward. So he had his poor Normie. Yep. So apparently he got screwed. But but Venom, there's a reason why I don't vote. So I'm biased against my Spider-Man character. So I don't vote unless there's a tie. So,
well, if it's a tie, we know where you're going, so that's all right.
No. I will be unbiased. So.
No, home field advantage here, I guess.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I mean, we are against Galactus. We need all the help we can get.
True. Welcome, Unruly Simeon. How's it going? I am pliant and open to bribery. All right, there you go.
You want some beer?
We got beer.
We can mail it to you quick.
Wait, are you 21?
Oh yeah, we should probably do that.
Good first question.
I believe he is a couple years over 21, like 3 or 4, right? Decades? No,
that's good enough. That's fine.
So, all right. Do you guys have any questions to you want to ask me before we start the show?
I don't believe so.
No, I think I'm
good. Man, I'm trying to think of a way to like make it a interesting discussion, but not completely hamstring myself in this. Are we talking about specific versions of these characters, specific times?
I do not have a
Or just in
requirement.
general?
I don't just in general. I mean, I know some debate shows like it was like who will win is kind of like a debate show, kind of similar to this, where they nail themselves down to I'm only doing Galactus from the comic books or only doing Miles from the movies.
Yeah.
And all that. So I don't have if you want to throw in Galactus from the comics and including what he did in the Fantastic Four movie that no one likes.
You were just that Galactus. You're just a big
you're
cloud.
just a big cloud of
Just
smoke.
a big cloud.
Yeah.
Just
Big cloud of smoke.
You'd be a
Okay.
big
Or
cloud
it could
that
be
you
what
can't touch.
Ultimate's Galactus, where it's
Yep.
just like a swarm of bugs or something.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
Galactus.
Yeah.
Is if as long as the chat likes it and votes for you, that's all that matters, in my opinion. Like I said, I don't nail things down
Right.
too much. Maybe one of these days here, we'll nail it down precisely to where, all right, you have to choose. But for right now, this is the season of villains. You know, it's good to be bad, and there are very, very few rules in this season.
Nice.
So I suspend most of my rules. So
Okay.
all right, the voting link is up for anyone who wants to vote early. But until then, take it away with you wanted to go second, Titan, if I recall, right?
I was gonna go first.
Oh, you're gonna go first. All right, so Titan, take it away with your opening statement.
Okay. Do I need one?
I think you do.
Okay. All right. Well, since we're not looking at specific versions of Galactus or certain timelines or points in time, I mean, what can be said? It's Galactus, the Devourer of Worlds, or even I might as well go with Galactus Lifebringer because he's actually a little bit stronger than normal Galactus. His power set speaks for itself. Whether it's against Venom or any single Earth hero, the argument is the same. He can destroy the planet that character is on. He is able to create matter. He is able to destroy matter. He has the power cosmic. Wherever Venom is, he just absorbs the planet, and that character dies. I'll say, I know Galactus, his power levels change as his hunger grows. Since there's no rules, I'll say he is in his not hungry state. I know characters, Earth heroes have fought him when he's very hungry. It still took a full team to even knock him down. So with this, if we have just Venom going up against Galactus at his full capacity, I don't know. He just disintegrates him or rearranges his molecules into nothingness. This is all stuff that Galactus can do. He doesn't necessarily do it often because he's not really evil. He only does things to survive. But he has the ability to rearrange, destroy, and create matter at will. And if it comes down to it, he can pull the ultimate nullifier. The ultimate nullifier originally used against him or threatened against him in his original debut story. Always a good reason to bring this up. In the Fantastic Four his first appearance in Fantastic Four 48 through 50. Later on, it was determined that the ultimate nullifier is actually a part of his essence, and he can summon it to him no matter where it is at his will. So he could use the ultimate nullifier on Venom, and I would argue that the ultimate nullifier used by Galactus would not nullify Galactus, because the ultimate nullifier does not nullify whoever uses it. It only does so if they do not contain the mental capacity to use it. And it being a part of his essence, he would. So that's it, I guess. I mean, that's all I got for now. I'm excited to see what you got.
All right, that was a detailed introduction. So hopefully you didn't throw all of your fuel into the fire in the opening statement. All
the fuel I need is he's Galactus.
All right, guys. What does Venom have to say?
All right. So At a glance, it's easy to say that in a battle between the once Spider-Man villain known as Venom and is a layup victory for a being as old and powerful as Galactus. The guy's been alive since the dawn of the current universe. His abilities are vast and widespread, as Titan pointed out. But to count Eddie Brock out would be a grave error, and one no doubt born of not keeping up with current 616. Not saying you aren't Titan, that was just part of what I wrote. And the multiverse it exists in. The Venom we have today ain't Todd McFarlane's bouncy baby boy anymore.
Not anymore.
He is an entirely different creature with abilities far beyond the comprehension of even those closest to him. Through runs by Donny Cates, Ram V, and Al Ewing, you'll see the absolute impossibility of Galactus gaining victory here. Venom is the King in Black. He is the immortal meat gardener. He is an entity destined to shape the universe as one of its creators and eventually outlive it, just as his predecessor Null did in the last one. Today, we're going to prove that not only could Venom beat Galactus, but that he has surpassed him in terms of the pecking order of the universe. Because this isn't the 1990s, it's 2023, and Venom is a god.
That he is.
Well, Venom's the hammer down, so we'll see where it lands.
I was not expecting that hammer coming out of there.
Well, I added some stuff in there, so I
like it. I didn't see it coming.
Yeah, I added one for, like I said, last episode when for the Green Goblin fight, and it was perfect. It was even perfect for just when he lost, and so Norman himself was like, "How could you do this to me?" All right, so we'll dip down into the arguments here. So, where is this? I'm going to ask this question. Where is this fight going to take place exactly? Where do you guys think this fight's going to take place? Because both of you guys,
take place out in space. It has to.
Yeah. So
they're both galactic or universal beings at this point, so that would make sense.
And to Titan's point, the second Venom's on the planet, all Galactus has to do is eat it, and show's over. We're done.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, because when they said the current mod, how powerful is Venom, especially when especially let's say in his King in Black phase here, when he's the god of the symbiotes in a sense himself. How much does that increase his power compared to Galactus? Because
I basically figure he's one of the Beyonders at this point.
The King in Black, it was just recently revealed in one of the most current issues. The King in Black is an entity that is as powerful on the opposite side of the spectrum as the Beyonders themselves. And so the King in Black is destined to help keep universal entropy in place from the inside down in the muck with people, while the Beyonders are destined to be in their ivory towers on the outside of space and time doing the same job. But it was described in one, I think it might have been the most recent issue, that Venom is indeed just as powerful as the Beyonders at this point.
They're more or less a universal allegory for Christianity.
Or the yin and the yang.
Yeah, the yin and the yang, and that's where they exist. They're universal. The King in Black is a universal being. He just is.
There was revealed that the reason that Null beheaded a Celestial was because he actually tried to skirt his responsibility as the King in Black, and that's what caused the war between him and the Celestials. But he did then, as King in Black, behead a Celestial.
Yes, he did.
I would note that Galactus has also killed a Celestial.
True.
You are correct.
And it was a 4-on-1 fight, and he still killed a Celestial.
He still killed a Celestial.
Amen. But it's more expected that Galactus is going to. We're playing from the ground up with Venom.
Yeah, come on. We're this big. You're like there. It's
right.
So my question for Galactus, in a sense, you said he's not going to eat and all that. This is the non-hungry Galactus. Why would Galactus tie his hands in this or speak? Why would he sew his mouth shut?
I'm saying he's not hungry. Like he is full. He's at his full power. When he's hungry, when he's like starving, he can be kind of beat up by a host of Earth heroes. But when he's at his fully sated, then that's his most godlike.
All right.
Like the
power.
Snickers commercials. You're
Yeah,
not
you
you're not
when you're
yourself when
hungry.
you're hungry.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
Like,
gets a little hangry.
Galactus is here. Does someone have a Snickers?
Plan an actual Milky Way. Just someone give an actual Milky Way.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm not as caught up on. I could go on an entire diatribe about Donny Cates. I have gone on diatribes about Donny Cates and particularly Venom. So I'm
Polarizing
not
figure.
super caught up on where he is right now because I gave up on it. So
It's not for everyone.
I did read through King in Black. So so is he now the same power as Null?
He is. Well, Null's dead.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
He is the King in Black now. He took
Okay.
Null's place. So yes.
Yeah, there was
Okay.
this amazing issue, and I'd say give it another shot because Ram V and Al Ewing took over, and it's fun. Basically, he has reached a point now where he's basically indestructible, like to the point where he can, like, his physical forms can be destroyed, but in a blink of an eye because he can be anywhere. It's like that movie. He can be everywhere, anywhere, all at once
Yes.
because of the vastness of his ability, and he can literally just in a second before the smoke clears be standing there again with a new form. It's it's kind of insane, and this is all brand new, so I don't blame you for not knowing that because
this
it
is, like,
literally
3
just
months
dropped.
old.
Like yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've read the last. I mean, I'm often off again on again with Venom. It's like it gets my attention and it drops it. But the last thing I knew from Venom, yeah, it seemed like he was, as the King in Black, he was almost like a omnipotent. It was like he represented like a hand, but like he otherwise was almost like speaking psychically that he was that powerful that he no longer needed a body. He shed his flesh in that. So it's like in that regard, yeah, Venom is increased so much in power, it seems like, than he was back when he was Eddie in ASM 300, that it's like, wow, this maybe if you have the right argument here, because in a certain regard, my original thought when I was thinking about Venom versus Galactus is, well, you got a symbiote and all that. Why don't you just do a little bit of a Venom?
Just literally take him over.
Yeah, literally take him over. I mean,
that was going to be one of my arguments, actually.
Well, I will dip it down here, but yeah, literally speaking, there's a whole comic book series called, where Venom literally takes people over. So since it's gonna be one of your arguments, my question here is to you: how is Galactus gonna get rid of a parasite that can literally take over beings?
Well, I would say my idea was that, so one of Galactus's powers, not that it'd be a problem for him to do this anyway, to do this anyway, is he can teleport just anywhere he wants to go. Would be to go to Clintar, the homeworld of the symbiotes, and threaten to destroy their planet unless all symbiotes joined with Galactus to make basically the picture you have there. Super symbiote Galactus. So the power of all the symbiotes plus the power of Galactus against another symbiote, I assume would have no problem.
Well, and the counter argument to that would be that because Venom is King in Black, he is the hive mind. So the second that he goes to Clintar and has the symbiotes take him over, now Venom controls Galactus, and Venom is Galactus.
But I also I don't know if Clintar exists anymore because it was technically it wasn't really a planet. It was a cage, like the symbiotes banding against Null to keep him encaged, and then he broke free. I don't know if I haven't seen if it still is a thing in the comics anymore.
It became it wasn't a technical, like an actual planet, but over time it grew to reflect a planet. So it had terrain, it had flora and fauna. It was all symbiote based, but it kind of became a planet over time.
Its primary purpose was always to keep the King in Black imprisoned. It just became a planet. Otherwise, without it now, it's just a species without a planet, like Titan AE or the movie Titan AE kind of thing.
Movie was awesome.
Yes, I liked it a lot too. But yeah, otherwise, I mean, just when Venom can literally be any symbiote, or any Venom can be any symbiote. So even if Galactus steps on a few of them, it's like, well, I'm over here now, kind of a thing. It's just like, literally, how do you?
Well, Null literally encased the entire Earth in symbiotes and locked out all light. And so I think that Venom could basically do the same thing to Galactus if need be, even if just to imprison him for a minute to give himself a breather.
I don't think that would, because he can teleport himself out.
Well, and so you had mentioned when Galactus is hungry, he's very lethargic. He's kind of not useless, but he's weak.
Yes. Yeah.
And Venom, you take him out, another one pops right up. You take him out, another one pops right up. So Venom could just wear him down. You could just wear him down to where he gets hungry.
Another one pops right up.
Well, when
I could do this all day.
you got a Warner Brother, man. So if Galactus were to flash and kill a Venom right in front of him, he reconfigures immediately right in front of you. So he could just keep doing that, almost like in the Doctor Strange film where Dormammu was locked in that time loop. Venom could do something in theory along those lines and just wear him out.
So here we have to define what defeat means then.
True.
Right? Because
That's true.
Because Galactus can rebuild himself as well. He may not do it instantly, but he is essentially immortal. He will come back. Right? So even if your King in Black Venom knocks Galactus out, kills him temporarily, he comes back. Is that still a defeat? And if it is, that means if Galactus takes King of Black Venom out so that he has to reappear himself, that is also a defeat.
My question to that would be, since Venom doesn't need a body, does he get defeated when a body dies? And because of the fact that he exists outside of time, and because literally what happens is if he were to die, he would pull another meat husk of all the dead symbiotes who have ever existed from this place called the Garden, and be there in a blink, because he is outside of time. So would it even be recognized that he was dead or that he had exploded? Laser beam, as the smoke clears, Venom is still standing there. So basically nothing
do something
happens
to come back, right? So this is why we have to define what defeat means, right? I would say just that previous point, Galactus is not a physical being. He appears physical, but he is an energy being, right? His appearance is based upon whoever is observing him. To us and to the people of Earth, he looks like this humanoid figure because we recognize humanoid figures. If he went to another planet where the people look different, that's how he would appear to them. It's just an appearance that is put forth so their minds don't explode, right? But he is a being of energy when it comes down to it.
Yeah, if I had to guess and all, and this was me voting with everyone in the chat, I would say the defeat would be, kind of sort of like what the symbiotes did to the King Black, imprisoning him, because both can't die. The question of who wins, basically who could imprison the other for any length of time, and then the battle's over, at least for right now. The war might not be over, but the battle is.
Well, to Titan's point, what does defeat mean? So Zach is a fan of wrestling. And Zach, would you say that every fight has to end in a knockout?
I mean, generally that's how either that or a tap out.
Well,
I get that reference now.
Hey, you like that? So it could be a technical knockout where Venom just wears Galactus down to where he gives up. And that is a defeat in battle. Is Venom going to necessarily kill Galactus? No. But if Galactus decides, I'm done, I'm too hungry, all I wanted to do was eat your planet, you're here defending it, I'm just going to go eat that one now. If Galactus leaves the fight, he's done. It's out.
Well, I mean, that goes both ways.
And Venom can wear him down.
That goes both ways.
Of course it
Sure.
does. Sure.
Right?
I'm definitely
Actually, I don't think it does with
that.
Venom. The way that issue was presented, I don't think it, it made it sound like Venom is just, at this point, he is, and that's it. Kind of like Darkseid is.
Yeah, Darkseid
Venom
just is.
Very good points.
Well, and you said that Venom is not evil. Or not Venom, I'm sorry, Galactus is not evil.
Right.
Galactus is just hungry.
Right.
And
he does what he has to survive.
Yes. So it's like us going to Burger King and, oh shit, Burger King's closed. All right, so now we're gonna go down to McDonald's. Oh shit, McDonald's is closed. So you're just gonna keep going until you're satiated enough. And I mean, I'm not gonna stand there and yell at the person at Burger King to open up. I'm gonna move on down to the next burger joint. If you
Right, but for whatever reason, we have been pitted against battle, and it's
yes, I know.
Right? Would
Matt's
it ever
fault.
happen? Maybe, probably not. But if the goal is for him to win for whatever reason, you know, the Clintar quote unquote planet or whatever it is could provide energy sustenance, and he needs that for whatever reason. That is his goal, assuming he wouldn't just kind of go away. Right.
Sure.
Because then I would say that would be a draw. No one has won at that point.
This
No, no one won, but Galactus lost. So Venom didn't win, but Galactus lost. If whoever leaves the battle loses, and the other person wins by default.
Well, then that depends where we're having the fight, though.
All right. Here's a question by Unruly Simeon. Could Galactus empower X amount of heralds to join the fray? Now, as a if that's what wants to be Titan's argument, yeah, because that doesn't break any rules. You can bring in allies, you can bring in minions.
Oh, I'd agree with that.
That's evidence of
yeah, hey, yeah.
I had put that off the table because I thought that would be not allowed. So
well,
if
we
Galactus
whole
can
planet
call
on our
all
side, so you're
heralds he's
good.
ever had. I honestly I don't think that he needs it. Like the purpose of his heralds aren't to be strong; they're to go find sources of sustenance. Galactus is stronger than all of his heralds.
Yes.
So I don't think it's really necessary. Are they? They're all imbued with power cosmic, so they're very strong. Yes, but I think Galactus on his own. What was that?
Yeah.
They'd be a distraction if nothing else.
Yeah,
True.
one Galactus against a million symbiotes at once. But Galactus may very well win, but it's still annoying to swat a million ants at
because I mean, basically it would just keep the symbiote putty patrol busy a little bit while Venom and Galactus had their back and forth.
Right.
I do have a question though, if you don't mind me proposing it. So we've got God level Venom, who is essentially the same tier as a Beyonder against Galactus. But Galactus has been defeated by Squirrel Girl.
Oh
no, he has not.
Yes, he has.
Oh.
No, he has not. He has been. They had a discussion.
They had a discussion.
They did. They did.
Means Galactus could be talked off the ledge.
Went to the moon, talked with Squirrel Girl, and she didn't defeat him. She befriended him and convinced him to go to another planet that was full of nuts.
Well,
you played Mortal Kombat, right?
Squirrel Girl on my channel doesn't exist. I don't get the character. I think she's.
I've never understood that character.
To quote you, I think that character is nuts. Honestly.
So that is not a defeat, right? Because he was just convinced to go eat someplace else.
Yeah, but yeah, Unruly Simeon does have a point. Ultimately, yeah, it says. Another way to obviously say is leaving the battlefield is defeat in a sense. You know,
it's retreat,
strategic withdrawal, or outright defeat. Yeah, it's one of those things. This fight, honestly, now that we the Venom that we're arguing here, we are getting two galactic beings that it's almost like, you know, the Captain America clip I showed earlier. You know, I could do this all day. You know, it's just
who tires up first.
Who's gonna win? It's just a matter of.
Well, Galactus needs sustenance. Venom does
not.
There you go. That's a very good point.
But if he takes Venom out before he needs sustenance, like he needs sustenance because he is a giant cosmic being, and throughout, like you said, he predates the universe.
All right.
He has had to consume. He has had to devour, but that doesn't mean like he's just like instantly hungry after he eats.
Yeah, I'm about to 20 minutes. I got to find a Snickers bar. It's, you know, this is probably months and years of battle at this point.
I think this is a fight that happens for like millennia, but to them it's like a blink.
Yeah.
Yeah. As I like to say, I find myself using this argument a lot. You know, and after a discussion, I can usually apply it to one or another. If this battle ends quickly, Galactus will win. If this battle does not end quickly, and it goes on for a period of time, I see Venom winning this fight at his God level, because if Venom doesn't have to eat, as the symbiotes don't have to eat, Galactus will eventually tire down, and then this fight that lasts for 1,000 years will end only one way, with Galactus not having the strength to continue.
And the planet,
I would agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that too. And if this is Galactus versus OG 90s Venom, Venom's
over.
toast.
It's
He's
over.
there's not a chance.
Right.
But with just the new information that's brought up about the symbiotes, their god, and now the Venom is their god. It's kind of it.
And it even goes beyond just being the god of the symbiotes, because that was something that Donny Cates set up, but then Al Ewing and Ram V expounded upon by saying that he is the god of the symbiotes because Null created the first symbiote, the Necrosword. But the Null was more than that before creating the symbiote. So he is the god of the symbiotes, but he is far, far more than that. And he is destined at this point to outlive the universe in which he lives and be there for the creation of the next.
So I have a question. Just pardon my ignorance.
Oh, go ahead.
Where is the actual Venom symbiote?
So right now there is like simultaneously two Venoms in a way. The actual symbiote that Eddie was attached to is on his son Dylan on Earth, and Venom Eddie has gone past that, and like in his god mode, he has literally added the symbiote like logo, or his like the Venom logo, to his chest, and is going off doing crazy god things.
So this discussion is fun and all, but I would argue who you're arguing for is not Venom. It is Eddie Brock for sure, but what makes Venom is the symbiote, and he is not a part of that.
The symbiote is in his blood. It is still him. He is still Venom. He's spread amongst two people.
In the issue that we've been talking about basically where he gets juiced up, the entity that is Eddie Brock in the future actually discusses the fact that because once he reaches that plane where he is just the talking hand that Mr. Comics mentioned earlier, he is basically now watching over all of the Kings in Black of all of the universes, and he calls it specifically the Venomverse. So for me, it's like Venom is Venom. Like Eddie Brock, even when without the symbiote, is still part of Venom, and Venom is still part of him.
I think that we might need a ruling on that, because I disagree. So in his comic, in the comic where he appears, what do people call him? Do they call him Venom?
I've been seeing it go back and forth.
It's both.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's like, I guess he's like senior, and his son is now junior.
Yeah,
junior
in a sense, because from what for starters, if this was in a previous season, Titan could have thrown in an official challenge, but because this is a season of the villains, there's no challenges this season. But
to give an example of why I think they're both Venom, if you look over at DC, you've got these legacy characters. You've got Wally West coexisting with Jay Garrick, coexisting with Barry Allen, and they are all the Flash.
True.
And it's a matter of which one. Like if I had to pick a Flash, I would use Wally West. So I wouldn't even touch Jay Garrick stories or Barry Allen stories or stuff like that.
True.
I think it's a legacy character issue.
I think that's apples and oranges, right? Because for Green Lanterns, right, it's if you have a ring, you're a Green Lantern.
But that's a core.
Yeah, that's like Nova too.
Yeah.
Right. But you can have multiple Flashes because they're from different timelines and whatnot.
Only Jay.
All right. Here's how I'd see your argument thing too, because it's almost like the Terminator movies. So you have one central computer, everything else is just your minions, kind of thing. But if Venom Eddie Brock is the King in Black, and he can control any symbiote, that includes the one that's on his son. So he can still override his Dylan and take over the actual Venom suit.
And Null did that to Dylan during the King in Black.
But he's still, quote unquote, fighting the fight as Venom Senior.
And Venom also exists as Venom amongst all the other multiverses as well, where he takes control over Venoms in any universe. Or I'm sorry, symbiotes in any universe.
Sure. So can this King in Black control Venom? Yeah, absolutely. But that's not the question, because the fight is against, in your argument,
it's against
King in
Venom.
Black, is he Venom at that point? before he uses some power to take over and become Venom. Well, then that's different.
Right.
I think so. For example, for a while, Steve Rogers became Nomad, right? At the time, he was not Captain America. He was not referred to as Captain. Was it still Steve Rogers? Yeah, absolutely. Was it Captain America? No, he was Nomad. Now, Eddie Brock, does he have this great power and can control symbiotes, including the Venom symbiote? Yes, absolutely. But is he Venom? No, he's King in Black. He's something else.
But the Venom symbiote's still a part of him. It's still ingrained in his DNA. So he's still, that Venom symbiote will never leave him. So he's still part Venom. Whereas when Captain became Nomad, he just took a different identity. Eddie Brock has never stopped being Venom, and Venom has never stopped being Eddie Brock.
Steve Rogers still has the super soldier serum in him, which made him Captain America in the first place. But
he made the choice to stop being Captain America.
And that's actually one of the points brought up in this book.
Eddie took the choice to be King in Black.
Well, so that's one of the points. No, he didn't. That's one of the things that actually they bring up in this book is that, so when Peter Parker first originally got the symbiote back in Secret Wars 8, the symbiote chose Peter Parker because it wanted to start this whole new King in Black thing. And Peter Parker was not strong enough, did not want to handle what the symbiote was giving him. And this is not revealed in Secret Wars 8. This is revealed in the Venom series. And it then went to Eddie. The symbiote chose Eddie because it knew what Eddie's destiny was going to be, which was to ultimately be Venom as this King in Black. So he is Eddie, he is Venom, he is King in Black, and it has all been a destiny sort of thing.
Everything, everywhere, all at once.
Yes, again and again and again.
That's fine. We can continue to have this battle.
Yeah, that's
what we're here for.
Also, dumb semantics thing. The book called Venom is about Eddie Brock, not about his son. So I don't know. That's just he is still portrayed as Venom, even though Dylan is attached to the symbiote at the moment, because there is still like the deep, even when he was away on Matt Gargan or on Flash Thompson forcibly, there was still always them trying to get back to each other like star-crossed lovers.
Yes,
that's fair. I still think that Galactus, with his ability to just rearrange matter, which Venom or King in Black could easily do that. He has been known to take out cosmic level entities. He defeated Chaos and Order, which is no small feat. The embodiment in the universe of Chaos and Order, who Chaos and Order themselves took out the Living Tribunal. So by logic, Galactus is stronger than the Living Tribunal, who is like the ultimate authority in the Marvel universes, multiverses, or whatever. So that is an extreme amount of power. I understand that King in Black is very, very strong. In the end, and I hate you've made a very, very good argument, and I hate to fall back on this, but Ultimate Nullifier. And I don't think that in any way is cheating, because the Ultimate Nullifier is part of Galactus.
And if you're saying Ultimate Nullifier is part of Galactus, I'll raise you a Necro Sword, and we'll just remove your head, and that'll be that.
He can also
Nullifier is a ranged weapon. You have to get close to me with a Necro Sword.
Yeah, we'll get there. We got wings. Don't you worry.
There's a billion of us. You got to find which one we are.
Yeah, we're everywhere.
Oh,
because specifically we were saying that Galactus is going to Clintar to raise some cane. So there's a lot of us there. There's a lot of symbiotes, and he can blend in, and then call Mjolnir, call the Surfer's Board, turn them into a giant battle axe, which he did at the end of King in Black.
Oh, that was awesome.
It was pretty awesome, and just cut Galactus down.
Yeah,
With
I
the
don't.
Necrosword
The
or that.
Clintar thing was like that was like leading into when Mr. Comics put up the Galactus. That was
The
just
Venomized
a
Galactus.
possibility. We're not necessarily at Clintar.
Oh, okay. Still a
but
cool weapon, though.
I'm gonna say we're probably somewhere in New Jersey at this point, right?
New Jersey's gonna be destroyed. Who cares?
No.
Yeah.
Apologies to all the New Jerseyites out there.
We mean you no harm.
Yeah. This is Mrs. Comics, by the way.
Hi, Mrs.
Hi,
Comics.
Mrs.
Hi,
Comics.
Mrs. Comics.
Hello, guys.
So she's siding with Venom.
Yes.
So-
Venom's
I like her.
always
Goddamn right, we like her too.
Yeah, we like her. She's so
No, I think you've very cleverly, because it's villain season.
mhm.
It is
You have
villain
very
season.
cleverly skirted rules
You're right. That's
to
what I
have
do.
a version of Eddie Brock, which you argue is also Venom,
It
to
is.
make a very good case. However,
Mhm.
putting aside your cheating,
everything.
which you are, let's be clear, I still think Galactus,
I do not know when we're going to be back.
at best, and I guess this also determines how we define defeat. It is a tie.
When I first saw that scene in theaters, I lost my shit. It was hysterical.
Yeah, that was fantastic.
Corey,
If
Disney
Galactus
Channel, not
died-
I'm
HBO.
doing my best. Disney Plus.
Galactus is required for the universe to survive. If you kill Galactus somehow permanently, the universe dies, including whatever version of King in Black or Eddie Brock we're talking about. So if King in Black, Eddie Brock, has any sense at all, Galactus could let him know this and he would immediately stop.
But
Him
the
then leaving the field of battle and being defeated.
You'll have to explain that one to me before, because I mean I'm a little confused if Galactus truly dies, that the universe dies. I mean, it leaves me thinking, like
Would you like me to explain?
I would love to hear this.
So would I.
Well, so you see the wheels on the back of the. I forget what the car was.
I've been waiting forever to use that one.
Dude, my cousin Benny will mess you up every time.
So Galactus is a force of nature. There have been universes in which he has died, and it leads to the eventual death of that universe. He is. So one theory is that he is a cosmic filter. There is something called the Fermi paradox, which is you look at Earth and we are populated with sentient beings, intelligent, maybe not, I don't know. But we are sentient beings. And in all the space out there, there is no proof of other sentient life. This is highly, highly unlikely. So the idea is that there is something out there that is beyond our knowing or understanding that is stopping life like this from happening and overwhelming the universe. In the Marvel 616, that thing is Galactus. So he hungers, he has a purpose, and that is basically to cull the herd. Because if the herd is not culled, it just gets out of control. So from my understanding, and this is one theory, is that he is this cosmic filter, is that's the purpose. In others, it's just he is a required force in the universe, and things slowly just start to die if Galactus is not there. So if he can let Eddie Brock know, it's like, look, I don't want to kill you. I don't want you to kill me. But if you do kill me, you all of your symbiote family, your son, might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, dies. You would be responsible for the complete death of this universe. Eddie Brock, being King in Black, who is essentially a good person now, I think would have no choice but to retreat, and therefore giving Galactus the win.
That is a very good point. I mean, sorry to interrupt you, but that's a very good point. That's, in fact, if that might convince me that this would end. Well, this would end one way or the other because Venom wouldn't want his symbiotes or his son to die, and so he is an anti-hero. I mean, for the sake of the thing here, we're all villains, but he does. Even villains would have to survive or value something. So it does make a good point.
And I would argue that Galactus he's not a villain. He's not a villain. He is a force of nature, right? He does what he does because he has to survive. It is also supposed that when this universe dies, like the previous universe dies, which Galen came from, Galactus would just be back.
Same with Venom. Yeah. It's so funny because in a lot of ways, Al Ewing and Ram V have really, outside of the actual universe, they've really borrowed a lot from the mythos of Galactus from the sounds of it, because the things you were saying to describe Galactus are exactly what is now being said about Venom.
And they were basically our closing argument, so thanks for that.
What you were saying before about these two being so matched and coming to a tie, which 5 years ago sounds ridiculous.
It sounds insane, right?
It's kind of wild. And so Galactus halting the altercation and kind of doing like a wait, we got kids kind of it makes sense. Has Galactus been known to do stuff like that? Because normally isn't he just like, I'm here, it's happening?
Well, and so Galactus has, what's he, the life bringer now? Is that his official?
He's searching for knowledge
now.
Is he back to normal?
But he's
when he was life bringer, was he more of like that positive, or not, maybe not positive, but more of he's going to come and say, is he looking for less sentient planets to eat, or what was his role then?
He wasn't eating planets at all. He was the opposite. He was more
creating.
His power set was the same. He wasn't good or evil in either incarnation. It's just the force of nature that he was.
I've never seen him as an evil villain. He's just like he's like us going to eat, and we step on an anthill on the way there.
Right, and that's what he is in both incarnations. He wasn't necessarily good as life bringer. He just was. So what had happened was, Galactus got tricked into Tatu, or no, it wasn't in Tatu. It wasn't. But the original structure that had turned Galen into Galactus, he got tricked into that by the Ultimates. Not like the Ultimate Universe Ultimates, but different Ultimates. And they basically reconstructed Galactus, but flipped the switch from up to down, where it just reversed the creation of Galactus as a life bringer instead of a destroyer. But he was still not good or evil. He was just a force of nature. The power set was the same. He was a little stronger as life bringer, but his power set was the same.
He's a good dark side. Galactus is.
Yes, Galactus is.
So if the same thing is true about King in Black, if King in Black dies, and that would cause the end of the universe, I don't think Galactus would care. But if Galactus dying would bring the end of the universe, I think Eddie Brock would care because he has human connections. Galactus cares about no one.
He cares about himself. He cares about eating.
He cares about but he knows if the universe dies, he no longer will return.
There's
and King in Black will return too, but Dylan won't.
Hey Sharon, how's it going?
Kid card, gosh.
But these are
why you gotta bring my kids into
these
this?
Human connections you have.
You got very good points. This is a very good discussion because, like I said, you got what if I again, this is the reason why it's hard for me to vote. I don't vote, but it's like Venom swings me on the one side here. Galactus can be reincarnated the next universe, so he can't really lose in a sense. So it's like going, if I die, you all die, but he's still gonna come back. So does he really lose in that sense? So it's
Yeah.
like, but
Well, it's about the
Venom-
argument, right?
Venom-
It's about the argument that he makes to King in Black to just
True.
walk away.
Yeah, because ultimately both these guys, even if the universe ends,
Mhm.
Galactus will return in the next universe and not care, and Venom will be in that next universe and be miserable.
And have no Dylan.
And have no
all
Dylan.
right. Everyone in the
Or
chat, you got
and all the people he cares about.
Yeah. So just remind everyone in the chat, you got less than 10 minutes for the vote to end before you can no longer vote, because that's when the thing ends. So you got to the top of the hour, and then the voting link will officially cut off. So get your voting if you have who you want to
Get your
vote
voting
for.
in for Venom.
Get your voting in. So
Because
Yeah.
well, you're voting with Galactus because as has been just proved, and I think you were just about there to say, yep.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying at all. I do ultimately think this would end up probably in a draw, where Galactus and Venom just end up sitting down and realizing this will never end. We're just going to keep doing this. We're going to destroy, create, destroy, create, destroy, create. You go your way, I go my way, and that's how this ends.
I could do this all day.
We really could do this all day. We're on what 51 minutes so far.
Right.
Yeah.
But if the point is, for whatever reason, if we have been pitted against each other, and the point of this show is to who would win, if the strategy of either is to try to convince the other one to walk away, Galactus has the edge because of Eddie Brock's humanity.
So I'm going to use that against you.
Okay.
Because Galactus has no humanity, therefore would not be able to know how to tap into Eddie Brock's humanity.
Ooh.
Because Galactus sees us all as underlings. We're ants under his boot. We're nothing. So how in the hell would Galactus know that Eddie has a child? How would he know that you kill me, the universe dies? Why would he think that Eddie cares? So he's going to, he has no humanity to relate to, so he's not going to use that. He takes his heralds. Okay, you are going to be my herald and go find these planets for me to eat, but he doesn't care about the herald. He just wants to eat. He has no humanity.
I understand your point, and I disagree. So
you're allowed to.
Galactus was at one time Galen. He was a humanoid figure. He retains that knowledge. He understands the concept of humanity, or he was from Ta and D, whatever. He
Humanity
understands
works.
those connections because he was that at one time. I understand your relationship of like humans to ants. I'm a human. Us as humans, we understand how and why ants do what they do because our intelligence is above that. Just because I'm not an ant doesn't mean I don't understand why ants protect their queen or dig tunnels or things like that.
You're giving far too much credit to humanity here.
I don't think that I am. I think Galactus fully understands these concepts of humanity. One, because he was one, and two, because he has this level of intelligence that is far beyond any human has. So it would understand, like we can understand that, like my dog, I understand her motivations and all that. I fully get it. Like, yes, you want food. You want to go for walks. Don't get too excited. I said the W word.
Don't say the W word.
Yeah, we had to be careful of my house.
I think he understands. He's smart enough to understand. Like the intelligence of Galactus is off the scales, right? It's been said that some of the simple machinery that Galactus creates and uses, Reed Richards can't even begin to comprehend what that stuff is. I don't think that's a valid argument.
Well, but people that have that level of intelligence typically don't think about the people that have lower than intelligence than them because they don't have the ability to express empathy.
Like a Dr. Manhattan was once human, but has reached this pinnacle where he is completely separated and can't remember how to feel and is constantly trying to remember and reconnect somehow with humanity, but he can't.
Yes, that is to my point, right? Galactus doesn't care about the humanity, but he still understands it. And that's the argument of why he knows he could convince Eddie. He knows that Eddie has those connections and can argue him to walk away but and at the same time without having being susceptible to those emotions.
All right. Since it's less than 5 minutes till, it is time to, well,
We are who we choose to be. Now choose!
it's time to do closing arguments. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap things up so that way anyone who hasn't voted yet, sorry, if anyone who hasn't voted yet can get their final input in before the voting ends officially. So let's go ahead and do that. So Titan, take it away with the closing statement for Galactus, and we'll move on to Venom.
All right. I think that I have more than proven that Galactus would win basically this war of attrition, where it is either if either of us go, the universe dies. However, he can use the point of Eddie's humanity against him, where he does not have those connections to hold him back, knowing that he would come back. Eddie instantly would walk away for the love of his human friends, son, lovers, etc. All that failing, ultimate nullifier.
Awesome. All right, Venom, what say you?
Ultimately, I feel like Corey's. I liked Corey's point about you have this connection, or you were once this, and gradually over the eons and eons, as intelligent as you are, you lose something in the long game, in the scheme of things. It has been since the previous universe, since he was human. I don't know that he makes this decision and finds that place to court Venom into giving up to save his own. And I think that it becomes it's a knockdown, drag out, millennia long altercation where Venom comes out on top simply because Venom is.
And I agree with that point, to where Galactus is so old, so ancient, that he has forgotten his humanity completely and doesn't even think about pandering to that side, because to him, Venom is an insect and he just wants to swat him away and move on with his day. And when he realizes it's just too much of a struggle to get to where Venom is, he's gonna leave the field of battle.
Anyone else?
I like to throw these in where I can, so it just seemed like a perfect way to end it debate.
Agree.
Awesome. So you guys got roughly 2 minutes. Get your final votes in, and we'll just have a little. And while we're waiting to that, we can just have a little chat here. So do either of you guys want to shout out your Instagram channels, YouTube, whatever you do, while we're waiting for them to get the final votes in?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Sure. Titan, you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. So Titan Comic Pressing, LLC, all separated by underscores on Instagram. I also have a YouTube channel, Titan Comic Pressing. The name reflects what I do. I own a comic pressing and cleaning business that I've run for probably about 4 years now. So if you have any interest in getting your books worked on, reach out to me on Instagram. My YouTube channel is mostly kind of vlog stuff, talking about what I get from week to week on new comics, showing old stuff that I get. I'm a big comic collector of older stuff. And then every once in a while, if you have an interest in cleaning and pressing comics, I'll put tutorials up there to describe the techniques that I use for doing that sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, I cannot wait to share. And after you want to tell after we do the reveal, if you want to tell you who we voted for. All right.
Sorry about that.
No problem. So Penguin,
allergies like you wouldn't believe.
No problem. So I also spotted you first on Instagram, and you crap, I can't remember your name. You also have a podcast you guys like to do.
Yes. So I run a shop on Instagram called Penguin Comics at Daydream, and I sell vintage graded comics, and that's just a passion project that turned into a small business that it's just a lot of fun. But you can give it a follow on Instagram or Facebook at Penguin Comics at Daydream. And there's a physical location located inside American Daydream Antiques, New York, Pennsylvania. And then my buddy Zach and I here have a podcast called Comics and Beer. Do you want to guess what it's about? It's about comics and beer.
Yeah.
Antique
Also,
furniture and cocktails.
You know, that's not a bad
that's
idea
the
for a
sequel
follow-up
show. Yeah.
podcast.
I also do a show called The Comics That We Love, where basically we were telling these guys before the show, my show is more of a deep dive, getting into what makes different stories great, what makes them stand a test of time. And we kind of describe our two shows as mine is the 500 level college course that you take. And then after that, when you go to the frat party, that's comics and beer. So,
and actually the first episode of his show that I was on featured this Moon Knight story. And that's where Comics and Beer kind of took place. And that's salting while we're sitting here right now.
Awesome. Well, both of your guys' links, at least to Titan and to Penguin, should both be in the description of this video on YouTube. If you guys want to find out, got to contact them on Instagram, you can, for their podcast, you can do that there. So I just didn't have everything and all that.
I
at least got
good.
You guys for Instagram. All right. So without further ado, the deadline has ended. Let's find out who is moving forward to the second round to face off against Black Adam. So the results are for this cosmic showdown is. Oh, don't do this to me.
What?
Oh.
That's insane.
Oh my gosh. That's
Titan,
incredible.
Titan, we nailed it. We nailed it, man.
Why do you guys, chat? Why do you guys hate me? All right. This means sudden death, which means I will have to cast the final vote.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
All right.
Has this ever happened?
Twice.
Wow.
And I'll give you a little clue on one of the people responsible for both times. So, and funny enough, it was the same two groups. Rob Wurst from Not Near Mint and Sharon, both those guys, both times tied. So it's like on wow. Oh, it's all on me. Yeah. Okay. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do like a brief. It's a showdown. It's like it's kind of thing. So basically, we just give you like brief 2-minute argument to the best convince me. So if you listening to what I've been saying, listening to what I've been talking about, questions I had, me pose your argument to me, brief little 2-minute thing, and then I will decide who wins this fight. So unfortunately it is. So I promise to Galactus I am gonna be fair. So all right guys. So
Tight, you want to open up?
well, we'll do this here. I
would say that during closing arguments, you got to go last. So this time I got to go last.
Okay.
Well, we're gonna do this. I got a coin here. Heads, Titan goes first, and tails, Penguin goes first. So we're gonna do it that way. So, all right. Heads. So, all right.
Forget.
I think heads was you.
I did too.
All right. So, all right. Galactus, what is your brief? In fact, I'll even do, and we'll even do it this way. You have you set a 2-minute timer up to have all the arguments you have. So you got 2 minutes to convince me that you're right. So and go.
All right. So first, I'd say you say that you're not going to have bias. I would say even if there's a little bit of bias in there, what we're talking about is not your Venom, even if it can be considered Venom at all, which I went along with the argument because it was entertaining, but I would say that the Venom they're talking about, or the Eddie Brock they're talking about, is not Venom. The real fight would be against the symbiote Venom 1990s or whatever. The crux of their argument is that in the standoff sort of thing is that Galactus does not understand humanity. Even if that were true, which I don't think it is, I don't think it matters, because if you put the issue isn't that Galactus doesn't understand humanity, it's that Eddie Brock does and has humanity. So if they got to a standstill and said, hey, Galactus says, if I die, we all die. If Brock says, if I die, we all die, whether or not Galactus understands the humanity that Eddie Brock has, he doesn't care. Eddie Brock does. He is the one that would walk away whether or not Galactus has this understanding of humanity to use that against Eddie Brock. I think that he does, but even if he doesn't, Eddie Brock would still be the one to walk away because the importance is that he has human connections, that he wants to survive, even if he will come back after the death of the universe.
Okay.
Also, ultimate nullifier.
Very good point. All right. Okay. Venom, your 2 minutes starts now.
Okay. I think that is a super sound argument. I mean, ultimate nullifier. My response is that I still stand by that. I don't believe we get that argument. I don't believe that takes place just because of the distance between what was Galen and what is Galactus. He has this knowledge, but does he think to use it in an instance like this? Also, Venom being what he is now is so beyonder powerful.
Yes, beyonder powerful. That was the whole point.
I think that before anything of that like could ever take place, he will have control of Galactus and maybe not beat him, but he will be joining him. Null was able to control 2 Celestials with his abilities during the King of Black storyline.
So in
one
theory,
Galactus,
Venom could control Galactus at that point and just make him walk away.
One Galactus he could easily take control of one Galactus. And if that whole idea was presented, I don't know. I don't think it happens. I think it's over before something like that can take place. Maybe that's like 2 millennia from now, but to the 2 of them, that's a drop of dust.
And that's enough for Galactus to get hungry and need to leave. But to sell to you, which one looks cooler? Venom looks so much cooler than Galactus in that stupid purple hat.
Doesn't he look great on a shirt?
He looks great on a shirt. Look at that.
You're gonna diss on Jack Kirby?
I'm not dissing on Kirby. I'm like in McFarlane.
That's the qualification right there.
I love me some Kirby.
Yeah, well, you get a point there. All right, well, your time officially just ended. So, well, you guys got a lot of good points. There are 2 people on this team. You got shamed in the sense, yes, but this is this is a season of villains. There are no rules.
We are nefarious.
So when he brought in a teammate, I didn't object because. All right, but all right. Well, you do both give me a lot to discuss, think about. Like I said, well, I'm gonna first off by saying I don't understand fully the whole ultimate nullifier, and I don't. It's a side little thing I don't quite. It's a side little thing that I don't, so I'm not even going to consider that. But you do bring a very good point. You do bring a very good point about Eddie being human and playing to the emotions, because Galactus will be reborn into the next universe, whereas Eddie won't, at least as far as I know. I'm not sure.
He will.
I'm not sure. Well, okay. Well, I'm not 100% sure, so I can't. I keep hearing like an echo myself. Anyway, let's see. But it is what it is. So, but if he can play to it, but that also depends on Galactus getting the words out and convincing. If we're talking about hothead Eddie, I don't know if he's going to stop long enough to listen. And Venom can't. And I literally showed the picture of him earlier in the show that Venom taking over Galactus. And if Venom can't control Galactus, it's not a matter of killing Galactus. He controls Galactus. He knows the functions of Galactus, and he can just continue in control of Galactus, playing out his role. So Galactus doesn't necessarily end. He's just going to continue under different management.
Why didn't we think of that? That's a good word.
That's a good word, yeah.
Yeah, well, I do what I do. So I am gonna fall back to my original argument in the sense that if this fight ends quickly, which I do not see it ending quickly, Galactus would have won. So by that argument, if things go long enough, Galactus will hunger, he will weaken, and Venom will win. So not playing favorites, but I do see with God level Venom, I do see Venom ultimate winning. So I will cast my vote to Venom, and he will go forward to the second round. So
I'm not gloating or anything, but hey.
So So
and I will say, I'll take an FF48 over an ASM 300 any day of the week.
yeah,
Any day of the week.
Well, yeah, sure.
yeah. Peter defeated a symbiote. He could defeat Galactus. There are 2 people. Oh yeah, but yeah. So I will say Venom, but only because of that argument. When in a knockdown, draw out match, that I do think that a god Venom, a King in Black with a limited army, pretty much can defeat a single guy, even if it's just distraction to imprison or to take him over. Because think about it, 1 million or 10 million symbiotes attacking Galactus at once could provide enough of a distraction that he could then be taken over, possibly. It's one of those things that will never truly get a debate or closure, but I do think that Venom has a solid chance. Because he has a solid chance, I cannot rule out he will lose, and so therefore I will say that Venom will win.
Agree to disagree.
That's okay.
Well, Titan, you're welcome back next season where there'll be more rules and you can.
Well, you're not going to allow the cheating? Okay, cool.
In previous seasons, I've done the official challenge where you could say, "Hey, bull," and here's why, and then I will side with one discussion or another. But yeah, fascinating discussion. So Venom will move forward. Venom will face the other Man in Black, Black Adam. So it will be. Too bad I can't play some Johnny Cash or something like that,
man.
or AC/DC.
Yeah,
in my,
we get kicked off of YouTube for that one.
Kicked off of YouTube,
Yeah, right?
But yeah, Titan, it was really great having you on. You're more than welcome to be back on in other
Anytime,
shows.
just let me know, man.
Well, like I said, if you have a person in mind, like I said, I'm either going to do Battle of the Sexes or Marvel versus DC. So if you have either or a certain character, so if you said I want on next season, here's my character, I can put that character into the rotation, kind of thing.
Right.
Now, I would say that keep in mind that if I put galactic level people in there, if you pick, Nightwing, you might have a harder argument.
What about Night Watch?
All of Night Watch?
All of Night Watch.
Well, the first season I had the Fantastic Four, X-Men Gold, Justice League, Avengers, and then when we moved on to the second round, I'm going, well, it's unfair to have the Justice League versus this one guy, so pick your individual character. So I don't know. We might do teams one of these seasons where it's smaller, but I don't know. I always just say pick your favorite person, and we'll call it there. But it just depends. It just depends. This season would have been the time to do it. Galactus brings his heralds. Kind of a thing. So it all depends. One of the next coming up here in episode 12, it's Skynet versus the Reverse Flash. You think Skynet? Yep. So you think Skynet's just going to put one Terminator up there?
Oh no.
That's interesting.
Oh.
Yeah,
that is very interesting.
I even have some cool artwork for that.
I bet you do.
For the marketing. I'm just Reverse Flash, the red eyes with an army of Terminators behind him, and just like going like, that's the stuff of nightmares right there. So, all right, you guys shout out your channels already, and I appreciate you both for being on.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for the invite. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate it too. Yes, she won with Dr. Fate last season, so she's here talking smack. So
that's Dr. Fate.
We can talk smack back. That's okay.
She elected to take this. The champions elected to take this season off, so they were tired of kicking butt. So, they won twice of the last 4 seasons, so they obviously know what they're doing. So, all right, stay tuned next time for episode 9 of the Knockout, where we will face off Mum-Ra versus Owlman. So
that'll be interesting.
Know. I like the idea of an evil Batman. So
yeah,
Owlman. You never know. You never know. Like I said, Dormammu lost Mr. Freeze. Venom beat Galactus. You never know who's gonna win. So you never know. That's why I like doing the whole leaving it to chat. I don't vote, so I can just sit back and enjoy and team up on both sides. And so when it came off and you guys got tied, it was like, no, I don't want to vote. I want to.
You got to pick your favorite kid, Dad. Come on.
Hey, I've always said that parents who say they don't have a favorite kid are lying.
Yes, yes, because it all depends on which kid it is that day that's doing the stupid thing.
Well, I'm lucky enough.
My favorite, just not at the same time.
Yes, and I'm lucky. I only have one kid right now, so I'm like, you're both my favorite and least favorite kid.
So yeah, hopefully they're your favorite.
Yeah.
But yeah,
someone else's kid is his favorite.
I always say like, well, I personally say I know I'm not the favorite kid because who gets the most help from their parents? Certainly not me. So, all right. So before we drag on for too long, I'll see you guys next time on episode 9, Owlman versus Mumra. It's gonna be a hoopin' good time. So take care.
Good night, all.
Happy collecting.
Later.
See you guys later.
Adios.